How strong is your motivation? I'm reminded of a story I heard years ago, and one of my favorites of all time. And I mean, there's a lot of humor in it, but it's also a lot of truth as well. And the story is told about a guy who used to work the third shift. And his job, on the way to the job, he had to pass a cemetery during that time. You know, that third shift is that 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. And he knew if he actually cut through the cemetery, he would be able to actually cut 30 minutes off of his time instead of walking around it each time. You can see that I have a vehicle, he had to walk to work. So he had been operating from a position of fear. But he decided, I'm going to give it a shot. So the first night, he ran all the way across because he was scared. And the second night, he ran across it as well. The third night, he said, you know what? This is crazy. So he walked on across the cemetery, and, nothing happened. And he said to himself, this isn't bad at all. It's not creepy like I thought it would be. Because, we have our phobias and fears and things about a situation like that. We see movies throughout TV or television shows that, and it paints an eerie feeling when we get into a cemetery. So he said that, it's not creepy like he thought it would be. So, he started taking his time walking through at night and, saved a lot of time. He could leave home later to get to work and everything, and he was relaxed as he walked through. Well, one day it had rained, and because of the rain, of course the ground was wet and muddy, and he didn't know in his path they had actually dug a hole for a funeral that was a burial that was supposed to take place the next day. And so as he's walking, because it's dark, he can't really see, and he falls in the hole. And he's trying to get out the hole. He's digging, he's clawing, and he's dug so much that his hands are bloody. And he's screaming, somebody help me, somebody help me. At that time of night, who's going to be near a cemetery? So he's screaming, somebody help me, somebody help me. And he eventually gave up. And he said to himself, I'll just wait here until tomorrow morning, and somebody's going to come and they'll get me out. Well, what he didn't know was that another guy used to also take that same path across the cemetery at night on his way to work. They worked at the same place. And so the other guy's walking, and he falls in the same hole. And he's trying to get out as well. He's clawing and digging and trying to pull himself up, but to no avail because it's muddy, it's wet, can't get out. And so he kept on trying, and after a while, he just gave up. And he said the same thing. He said, I'll just sit here tomorrow morning, and I'll scream and somebody come get me out tomorrow. He said, but he's screaming, he said, because right now, there's no way I'm going to be able to get out of this hole. There's no way I can get out of this hole. But he didn't know the other guy was already in the hole. So as he's saying, I'm not going to be able to get out of here, the other guy had actually taken a seat in the corner at the other end of the hole. And as he kept saying, there's no way I'm going to get out of here, that voice came from behind him and said, yes, you can. And the guy found a way to get out that hole. The second guy, that is. So the question I have for you today, what is your motivation?